Meghan leaves Harry behind at the door. Harry rubs his wedding ring and stares at nothing. Meghan clings to Harry's arm in the group photo like he might float away. And at a child's hospital bedside, a single moment in the entire trip when a genuine smile would have cost her absolutely nothing, Meghan holds her face completely blank. This is their humanitarian mission to Jordan. And you're about to see every bit of it. Welcome back, my royalery. Today we are reading every signal Meghan and Harry's bodies produced during their visit to Jordan. Because when the audio is background noise and the words are Polish talking points, the body is the only thing telling the truth. Dr. Petros, the Director General of the World Health Organization, personally invited the Duke and Duchess of Sausages to Jordan. This was not a casual appearance. This was a structure, a diplomatic visit complete with protocol meetings, formal group appearances, some paparazzi, and hospital rounds with sick children. The whole humanitarian package, the kind of trip you point to when you say this is who we are. This is what we stand for. And well, from the very first second their bodies were voting to leave. Let's start with the listening scene when Harry and Meghan stand alongside Dr. Ted while a Jordanian official addresses the group. Watch Meghan's hands. Her left hand is sitting on her chest almost out her neck. That is a self-protective gesture. And her right arm is crossed over her chest in a closed, defensive posture. She is not comfortable. She's managing herself, which means some part of her brain is spending energy on internal regulation instead of external attention. Now watch what she does. As the man keeps speaking, she turns her head towards Dr. Tedros, not to listen more carefully but to read his face. She is checking how is he reacting? What expression should I be making right now? She's using him as a social mirror to calibrate her own performance. That is not empathy. That is a social calculation. Harry, meanwhile, is somewhere else entirely. He does not turn his head toward Dr. Tedros when Meghan does. He only moves his eyes. And then this is the part that sums up Harry's entire inner life on this trip. He turns his head away from the group altogether, as if something outside the circle is generally more interesting. We can't possibly know what it was. A bird, a memory, the void. The point is it wasn't the person speaking directly to him. Then Meghan shifts her hands from the chest protection gesture to rubbing her right hand with her left. That is a micro self-soothing movement, and it arrives at almost exactly the same movement. Her blink rate spikes noticeably. Now rapid blinking combined with self-soothing in Meghan is not a new combination. We have seen it many times. It reliably appears when she is not receiving enough attention. She is standing in a small group. Someone else is speaking and she is not the center of it, and her nervous system is registering that as a problem. So Harry is also soothing, rubbing his ring finger. Then the ring itself physically rubbing his wedding ring. This is one of Harry's signature stress and disengagement cues. I have documented it across dozens of appearances. When Harry goes internal, the ring comes out. His face in this moment is equally telling. He has that particular expression he gets when he is waiting for his brain to process something meaningful and nothing arrives. Standby mode. The lights are on. The Wi-Fi is down. Now they move through a doorway. And this is where Meghan does something. She does it consistently. It barely registers as remarkable anymore. She walks straight ahead and leaves Harry behind. No glance back, no gesture. She simply through the door and gone. Standing right at the door at two ladies from the protocol group, the hostesses. Harry barely acknowledges them. He managed a vague head movement and keeps walking. And this is too strange for Harry, and I want to be clear about that. Harry has years of royal training. He has greeted thousands of people in doorways. This specific skill and nod, a brief smile, eye contact with the people welcoming you is muscle memory for someone with his background. The fact that he cannot produce it here tells you just how completely Meghan's energy had infected the room. Indifference, it turns out, is extremely contagious. The group photo, it's deserve its own study. Everyone in frame has the same composed professional posture. Hands folded upright, composed, standard, diplomatic. Body language for people who do this regularly. And then there is Meghan physically hanging off. Harry's arm clutching it. It looks odd against the formality around them. And that is because it is odd. This is not affection. We know what affection looks like between these two. And it does not like this. This is a proprietary grip. In group settings with cameras present, Meghan needs to visually anchor herself to Harry. It reads ironically as insecurity rather than closeness. Everyone else in that photo looks like they belong there. Meghan looks like she is making sure you notice that she does. Then comes the hospital. This is where the body language stops being interesting and start being uncomfortable. At the bedside, Meghan does something with her mouth. She presses her lips down and pulls the corner slightly downward. That is a suppressed emotional expression, but the timing of it feels constructed rather than spontaneous. The soft smile that follows has the same quality. It is not warmth. It is management. She's producing the outputs that the situation calls for without any of the internal input that would make them genuine. Harry at her side is doing what Harry always does when no one is directing him. He rubs his palms together. Palm down, then palm up, flipping his hands into his lap. He does not know what to do with his body. In unscripted emotional moments, he's waiting for someone to tell him where to stand, what to feel, and when to care. And then the close-up. Meghan crouching by the hospital bed, face in frame. Close enough that every micro-expression is visible. And I want you to understand what this moment represented because context matters here. A child is right there. This is the emotional centerpiece of the entire visit. One spontaneous, genuine, soft smile. The kind you cannot manufacture. And the whole trip reads as real. One moment of authentic human warmth and the battle. Language story would have changed completely. But Meghan holds her face blank, not distressed. Not moved, not suppressing tears, just neutral. And sustained neutral in front of a sick child is not actually neutral. This requires deliberate effort. It is a form of active withdrawal. And it is without question the most honest thing Meghan did on the entire trip. So here's what the body language of genuine compassion looks like. Spontaneous forward lean, facial mirroring, open hands, soft and sustained eye contact. You will find scattered fragments of those things across this visit, enough to make the footage usable, but not the cluster, not the pattern. What you find instead consistently is self-serving social calibration and disengagement. There is a difference between a humanitarian trip and a humanitarian photo album. One of them requires you to be actually present. And what the bodies in Jordan were telling us the entire time is that the sausages were somewhere else. I let you decide where. But the worst part is not that they were bored. We have all sat through obligations we did not want. The worst part is that they were not even convincing about it. And they really should have been, because this is the one thing they said they were choosing. So, let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Roger Rogue. Much love and bliss.